What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. I am rocking it solo. It is Tuesday, July 26th. We've got a massive MLB slate tonight. It is my wife's birthday, so I am going out to dinner. I will not be around later on, but I will be around this afternoon if anyone has questions. So holler at me if you do. Before I hop into the MLB, I'm going to shout out our promoter real quick, ABC Islands. If you haven't checked them out yet, not sure what you're waiting for, the link and the promo code will be in the description section. Do myself, yourself a favor, go check them out. We've had a bunch of people already on there win big money, so I recommend that you check it out so you can be the next. That being said, as I mentioned, we have 13 MLB games to talk over, so pretty massive slate. There's a couple weather spots that doesn't look like we have to avoid, but to at least keep an eye on. So when we get to it, we'll get to it. We're going to start off with actually a weather spot because Shane McClanahan, the top pitcher on the slate, might have some weather concerns here. Let me share this screen and we'll be on our way. All right, yeah, so McClanahan having an awesome year. Started the All-Star game for the AL. I mean, just check the game log. He's been awesome all year. He's, probably the top pitcher on the slate, but with weather issues, I don't think you have to play him, considering there are other good options, right around him. Speaking of which, Aaron Nola, just an ace. Not the greatest spot in the world against Atlanta at home. Weather's hot in Philly. But he's a really, really good pitcher, and if he's on his A game, he's going to have a good game, basically, regardless of who he's facing. Carlos Rodone, he's been much more solid and spectacular, since his dominant beginning of the year. That said, he's clearly got upside in spots, as evidenced by the 45 he dropped against Padres. Man, it's like he's got under 20 in 4 of 5. But you'd see the game log before that, he's got 30+ in 3 straight. So volatile, but I understand why he's getting love. I think the drop-off after him is pretty real. No interest in Montes here. I mean, he didn't even throw that many pitches since in his return from injury last time out. Tough spot here. No thanks. Taijuan Walker. He's actually having a good year. This is not the spot I want to use him, but maybe it keeps me off the Yankees, although I do like a low-owned Yankees stack. Josiah Gray got lit up by the Dodgers earlier this year. Not spending 9K on him here. No chance. I think Luis Garcia is a look for sure, all formats. Again, another guy, I think he's more solid and spectacular, but you're getting a nice discount off the top guys with Garcia at 9,100. Good spot, good pitcher's park. Solid looking all formats. Spencer Strider, opposite Nola in this game. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought for a second. He got really unlucky in that Washington start. Obviously, he did not have his best stuff, but I like going right back here. He's going to be popular, but I think all these guys get mixed ownership between Strider, Rodone, Nola, McClanahan, assuming that game goes, Garcia. I like Strider here. All formats for sure in play. George Kirby. I get it. Good spot against Texas, but Texas has been swinging a little bit of a better bat lately. Adolis Garcia is red hot. Leodis Tavares has been really good recently. You got Seager and Simeon atop the lineup. I'm not not using him because of the spot, but I'm not, I need to use Kirby on a massive slate with a ton of good pitching options because he's facing Texas. That's all I'm saying. Montgomery, no thanks. Clevenger's interesting. Can't ever really trust Clevenger, but another guy with obvious upside. He was really good last time out against Arizona, now facing Detroit in Detroit. I get why anyone would take a shot on Clevenger here. Same with Barrios. I view Barrios and Clevenger similarly here. Barrios has had a very up and down year. He's in good form right now and gets the St. Louis lineup minus Goldschmidt, minus Arenado. Obviously their two best hitters, so that can only boost him up. Barrios in play for me. Haven't used him much this year, but I think tonight is a night where if you're looking to spend down a little bit from those top guys, he makes some sense. Mitch White, no thanks. Dane Dunning, nah. Garrett Hill, no. Padres pass better than Hill here. Marquez is a little bit interesting. Another guy, I'm never afraid to use him at Coors. He's not having a great year. Neither are the White Sox. I just don't think you need it on this slate. I'm not even sure how popular the White Sox are going to be. Not saying like they're going to be low owned, but actually they're going to be popular. I thought they were a little more expensive. Yeah, Marquez is a guy I can always get to in tournaments, but I don't think tonight I'm going to actually use him. Kopech, he has not looked good lately. Not striking out a ton of guys. Makes you have more interest in the Rockies than Kopech himself, to be honest. I won't get to Kopech here. Dylan Bundy, no. Josh Winkowski, no. Suarez, no, and weather issues. Spencer Watkins, no, and weather issues. Angel Zerpa, no, and weather issues. Tyler Gilbert, just no. Andre Payante, no. Ethan Small is a little bit interesting. Not a great spot, which is ultimately what will keep me off him. But a guy had really good minor league numbers, struck out a ton of guys. I think you could do worse than like dumpster diving down there. I don't think he's a gas can type of arm, so that's all it really is. That said, if I'm building one lineup right now, I like the idea of pairing both pitchers in the Atlanta-Philly game. So Strider and Nola gives you about 4K to work per position. I can dig that. Speaking of hitters, let's talk about them. All right, so at catcher, I don't think the White Sox are like crazy chalk, but I do think they're the most popular team on the slate. Starting a catcher with Yasmani Grandal, he is having an awful year. He's been okay lately, but he's averaging 4.4 DK points per game. Not very good. That said, he's in Coors. Platoon advantage, considering he's a switch hitter, will always have the platoon advantage. Yeah, he's going to be the most popular catcher, and it makes sense. It looks like Max Stassi is getting some love if that game plays, which it looks like the game will play. Just be on the lookout for weather updates in Baltimore and in Kansas City for those two games. Looks like only 4 catchers are pulling the majority of the ownership between Grandal, Stassi, Will Smith, who's always going to be a good option. Great lineup, just a really, really good hitter, not only for a catcher, but just overall. Alejandro Kirk, Toronto's in a good spot, and I think they should get decent love. So those 4, Smith, Kirk, Grandal, and Stassi are, I think, the 4 most popular catchers in tournaments. I think you can look a lot of different ways. Talked about the Padres, so either of their guys, whoever's in. I don't mind Carson Kelly. Rodone has been very up and down. Kelly's got double digits in 4 or 5. He might be leading off here. I can definitely get on board with Kelly. I don't think he gets love no matter what, because people don't want to pick on Rodone, and Rodone's going to be popular. So I like Carson Kelly in tournaments. It's just too cheap for how he's hitting, his lineup spot, all the above. So regardless of stacks, I like Kelly here. I don't really want to stack Arizona against Rodone, but I do like the idea of using a one-off Kelly here. And in cash games, I think Grandal is your guy. First base. Looks like a couple guys or 3 guys getting the majority of the ownership between Darren Ruff. Sam Fran's in a good spot, and they're cheap, which really helps. He'll have a good lineup spot today against the lefty. I'm not excited about it, though. I mean, I get it. He's cheap. Power. Gilbert's not good. But there's an opportunity cost here for sure, because if you're playing him, you're not playing Jose Abreu in Coors, an elite hitter. Not having his best year, still hitting over 300 with 11 homers and close to 50 RBIs. So could be a lot worse there. Vinny Pasquantino, if that game plays, is a cheap option. And then Andrew Vaughn in that White Sox game. Outfield eligibility as well, but him and Abreu will be hitting atop this lineup. I think you're looking at those guys, or Ruff as the cash game first baseman. In tournaments, I think there's a lot of different places you can go. I wonder how much love the Dodgers are going to get today. Yeah, I don't think they're uber chalk that they've been. Freeman's interesting if you can get up there. Talked about the Yankees. I like Rizzo and LeMahieu. Vlad, obviously, he'll get love because it's Vlad. And the Blue Jays are in a good spot. Looking a little bit cheaper. I don't mind using some Rockies against Kopech. So, the Crone and Connor Joe combo. Nate Lowe homered late last night. He's hot right now. Not like red hot, but he's seeing the ball well. I don't mind him as a cheap option. I'm not trying to stack them against Kirby either, but cheap and power upside for sure. Kind of same with Carlos Santana. Seattle's not in the worst spot in the world tonight either. Also talked about the Padres. So Hosmer, dirt cheap, and he's actually seeing the ball well right now. So, okay. Eric Hosmer, obviously Luke Voigt at the other side of that platoon. They'll both be starting. Kevin Biggio, if you're not playing Guerrero here, probably play Biggio at second if you're playing that Blue Jays stack, but he's hot right now. Moved, higher up in the lineup on Sunday, so I think he's a good look for sure. It doesn't look like the Blue Jays are getting all that much love here. Obviously, things can change. As of now, it looks like the Red Sox are going to be the most popular team on the slate, but we haven't really gotten there yet. We will. Second base. As far as popularity goes, looks like Brandon Lau and Jeter Downs are going to be the two most popular second basemen. So as far as Lau goes, weather concerns with this game plays, he's an elite option. And then Jeter Downs talked about the Red Sox. They're facing an Indian Guardians, bullpen game here. He's not very good, but the Red Sox stack is getting love. So if you need a cheap option here, I get it. As far as GPPs go, talked about the Yankees, so Gleyber Torres, Jake Cronenworth in that Padres stack. I think the Padres are in a good spot here. And I don't think they get a lot of love, and they're not projected to get a lot of love. So I'd like to see that. Also don't mind the Brewers. Dylan Bundy can be very volatile. Colton Wong, seeing the ball well right now. So he's a guy I can get on board with, preferably in that stack. After that, probably back to Kevin Biggio if you're spending down here. Just a really cheap piece, good hitter in a lineup that's in a good spot. It's a very powerful lineup. All right, third base, J. Ram. I mean, he's looked great at every slate. Tonight is no exception. Whether you're stacking Cleveland or not, obviously looks really good here. I like Machado. Let's see where ownership's coming in at. Looks like J-Ram and Yohan Moncada are going to be the highest on third baseman. J-Ram is obvious. Moncada, he's looked good lately, and he's under 4K, or he's 4K exactly in cores. So I get that, for sure. I think it's J-Ram or Moncada in cash games and no one else. David VR hovering around those guys as far as ownership goes, but I don't really feel good about it. And definitely pinch hit risk there. Matt Chapman's a guy I can get on board with in tournaments. He's looked good recently. Josh Donaldson and DJ LeMahieu talked about the Yankees, but ultimately it's probably Machado for me if I can get there. Not projected to be really highly owned either. Shortstop. Tim Anderson's projected to be the highest owned shortstop. That makes sense. Leading off in cores. It's not even that expensive. Big time power, speed, upside. I feel like Anderson is built for this ballpark, so I like him a lot here. I mean, what's not to like, really? Trey Turner and Corey Seager always elite options. Bo Bichette kind of in the same vein. All these guys have huge upside on any given night. Ahmed Rosario having a really good year. If you're stacking Cleveland, I wouldn't just leave him out. As far as cheaper guys go, not seeing much. Yeah, there's nothing here. Talked about Ethan Small a little bit, but also don't hate the idea of using some Minnesota bets against him. He's unproven, hasn't been amazing in his major league outing, so I don't hate the idea there at all. And then Kim in tournaments as well, don't mind him. Cash games, it looked like it's Tim Anderson for sure, and then Bogarts is the guy that's projected to be the second highest owned. Boston's getting a lot of love, don't mind it at all. In the outfield, all the Red Sox guys are projected to be pretty high owned. Here it's a combination of San Fran and Boston. We'll see if JD Martinez is back. If he is, he'll be high owned. Ref Schneider and Jaron Duran are going to be high owned. And then Austin Slater and Yermin Mercedes. Sam Fran in a good spot. So I understand why those guys are going to get love. Expensive pitching to like here. Gilbert's no good. They're really cheap. As far as tournaments go, sucks no Luis Robert because he would look good here. I can always get on board with Soto. Tripled last night, had a really good game. Aaron Judge, same thing. I don't think he gets any love here. He's projected to be really low owned, and when you get a case like that, you check the game log. It's Aaron Judge. I'm not scared of Taijuan Walker at all. He is having a good year. I'm not scared of him though. Adolis Garcia, I mentioned, he's red hot. Past 2 games, past 5 games, really. I mean, past couple games specifically. Don't hate Christian Yelich. Some Milwaukee against Bundy. He profiles really well in that spot. What's nice about the Yankees is they kind of balance out with the Padres. Padres have some cheap guys all over. We'll get there in the outfield, but specifically Nomar Mazara, 2,600, doubled in his last at bat yesterday. Certainly can get on board there. 2,600 for sure. Trent Grisham cheap. Joey Gallo's cheap. Franmil Reyes is cheap. He's having an awful year, but homered a couple games ago, singled yesterday. Good spot here. I get that. AJ Pollock's really cheap. We'll see what the White Sox lineup looks like. I forgot to mention Eloy. He's really cheap, 3,900. Still a lot of good plays tonight. Some good pitching options, and then it drops off pretty fast. So there's obviously going to be good hitting spots here. Talked about Mazara. The Nationals had Victor Robles leading off last night. If that's the case again, I mean, they won. So he was 1 for 5. He's 2K. I don't think he'll project for a lot of ownership at all. I am far from scared of Mitch White. So, yeah, I can definitely get on board with using him as a one-off. No doubt about it. So that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As I mentioned, I'm around this afternoon. If you guys have questions, holler at me. If you want more info, more videos, more write-ups, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. That being said, I'll catch you on the flip side. Maybe tomorrow we'll see what the slates look like. If there's a double slate. If not, Thursday or Friday. Thanks as always, guys.